And we are live, possibly live,
We are.
right?
We're live. We're live.
Okay, we're not just spinning live. Oh, we're live. Well, we were live if you've watched us later than right now. Anyways, welcome to the Rewatchers Council. I'm your good friend, some say confidant, Snark. Over there, my buddy Adelia. Adelia, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm excited to talk about this episode. There's a lot about this episode I did not like, though.
It's so fun filled.
No, it's not.
No, you're right. Absolutely right. So we're going to be talking about passion, of course. Kind of an episode I knew was coming here in season 2. Well, there's going to be some changes for the Scoobs coming up. You
I
remember
remembered
this
this
episode?
episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
As soon as it started going, he's like,
Yeah, I
No.
was like, oh, I remember what happens at the end of this episode, and I'm not going to enjoy it.
No, nobody enjoyed it. Well, Angel enjoyed it. Anyways, okay, to the episode. Original air date February 24th, 1998. Adelia. Written by the guy that runs the show. Also, Ty King helped write this episode. He also wrote Some Assembly Required. If you remember that
Okay,
one.
I do.
It was directed by Michael Gershman. He'll direct 10 more, or 10 episodes, I believe, in total. Mostly known as a cinematographer, not just for this show, but a lot of movies. A lot of movies that I knew from growing up, like he was a cinematographer for The Golden Child. I don't know if you remember
I've
that.
never heard of that.
Eddie Murphy, The Golden Child.
No.
I want the knife.
No.
One of my favorites growing up. Let's see, but he also did The Rose. You know that Bette Midler movie, The Deer Hunter. Maybe you heard of that one.
I've heard of that one.
There you go. Well, unfortunately, he passed away in 2018, so you won't be seeing any more from him. One thing I guess I should mention, he won an Emmy for this particular series. He was the work he did on Hush that won him an
Okay.
Emmy. So there you go. Hush coming up in about a season, not even a season and a half from now. Okay. Number one movie, Titanic, and I don't think anyone's too surprised about that.
Nope.
The number one song in the U.S., you guessed it, Adelia. Nice and Slow by Usher. Usher.
Oh, God.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Usher's Nice and Slow. The number one song in the UK, My Heart Will Go On, Adelia.
Of course.
Celine Dion could be coming back to the stage for the opening of the Paris Olympics. I wonder if she's singing en français. Probably. The number one song in Canada, another national disgrace, is Truly, Madly, Deeply has crossed over the border to become number one. Only number one for 1 week, though.
That song was so big that I still remember it, and I wish I didn't.
Yeah, nobody. Yeah, it's like that time you got the measles. You know, you still remember getting the measles, but you remember how awful it was. All right. DVD synopsis. I like how I can just compare it to childhood disease. Anyways, DVD synopsis time. Angel steps up as torment of Buffy and her friends, even as Jenny Calendar searches for a way to restore his soul. All true. He really does step it up here.
He does, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. So automatically you get the feeling of this episode It's gonna be a little different. And I guess you start off with the gang. It's all at the bronze, dancing away. Not a care in the world, Adelia. But this time, this episode has a voiceover going on,
Yeah.
talking about passion.
Yeah.
Now, you see Angel watching them in the bronze because these guys never notice when Angel's just in the bronze watching them.
Nope.
No. Uh, Now I couldn't tell. Like I don't think that this is Angel narrating. You know what I mean? I don't think this is just David Boreanaz narrating.
Yeah.
It's not Angel's, in my mind. Anyways, so the gang leaves, and again, don't notice mere step from them. Angel's draining the life out of some poor girl.
Just completely in their own world.
Yeah, no idea. It's not like anything's been going on around there lately with Angel. No reason for them to be on their guard at all.
Yeah.
So they go home. Buffy goes to bed. Gets ready for bed, goes to sleep, and then you see Angel's creepy hand brushing her face.
I I did not like this part of the episode.
The voiceover saying how passion rules us all, Adelia, as you well know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Buffy wakes up and finds a picture, like a sketch of her sleeping, which is
I had no idea that Angel would be an artist.
he's a lovely artist.
Like he certainly comes up with some very good sketches very quickly.
If he had a soul, Adelia, he'd have an artist's soul. That's what you could think. You know what? Way better than me. I have a hard time drawing stickman, right? Tell you the
Yeah,
truth.
me too. I'm not a drawer at all.
No, my grandmother did all those kinds of sketches of like the old 40s style movie stars and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that's great. Here's a picture of a circle I drew once that was pretty close. So, yes, she has this picture of her sleeping. So she runs to tell Giles, Xander, and Cordy. I don't know where Willow was in all this, but anyways, I guess she was at class. Cordelia is told that once vampires are allowed in a place, Adelia, they're always allowed to enter the place. So she's immediately traumatized that she once let Angel into her car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This typical Cordy right here.
Yeah. Giles says, well, he'll start researching a spell to stop all this. He sounds, he'll get right on it. You know what I mean? Then a couple students come in. One being Jonathan. I was going to say our friend Jonathan, but we'll see. One being Jonathan. At this time, in the credits in the back or whatever, still just saying student. Doesn't actually say his name yet. They walk in. Xander immediately put off by this.
Yeah.
Like,
why are you here?
You? How dare you? And he's like, yeah, came to get a book on Stalin. Says, does this look like a Barnes and Noble to you?
I love Giles being like, well, it is a school library.
Yeah, so he's like, oh, it is? So he tells them where to go. Then they immediately, all of them, pack up and leave. Jonathan goes to ask, did you say, which are the, there's just nobody there. I love it. These guys just do not pay attention at all.
I do love how they just walk through the halls of the school, by the way, talking about all this stuff as though no one can overhear them.
No, no one ever pays attention to these guys at all. So, anyways, Cordy brings up some good questions here. Just as essentially, why didn't Angel just kill Buffy?
Yeah.
Giles says it's classic battle strategy. Wait, what? It's classic battle strategy that when your enemy is sleeping, you calmly brush their face and draw them. Just say, okay, I can end all of this right now. And just.
I mean, I could understand it being classic Angelus strategy.
Yeah, he could have said
likes to toy with his victims, but
it's more Dr. Evil nonsense. Anyways, Buffy then tells him about what Angel did to Drusilla, killing her entire family, and that she's going to need to think of something to tell her mom. When it comes down to it, I think she told a pretty good story without giving up
Mm-hmm.
everything, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
Cordy offers to let the Summers drive around in her car, which
Which
also
can
didn't
we
make any
not
sense.
just establish that Angel can get into Cordy's car? Like
You're
that
exactly
makes
right.
no sense.
Yeah,
Absolutely no sense.
yeah. Then Giles tells her, you gotta stay calm and stuff like that. He's, being Giles, he says, you don't have Angel lurking around your bedroom at night.
I mean, that's very true.
Well, it's true when she says it, anyways. Then he also
Yeah,
says that he mustn't let Angel get to her. Yeah. Well,
Giles, this was not Giles's best moment.
he'll have worse moments in this episode. So
He will.
we go to Jenny's computer class. All right. Uh, she asks Willow to cover for her because she's going to be late. Uh, to say that Willow is eager, I think would be an understatement.
Bit of an understatement, yeah.
Yeah, she gets right into if, is she allowed to give up the tension, and if so, what kind and stuff like that. You can see what kind of a leader Willow would be. She'd be a nightmare. Anyways, Giles and Buffy show up. Buffy then takes Willow away. Giles and Jenny talk a little bit. He fills her in on some recent events, then mentions that he needs to do a spell here to reverse this whole angel entrances, whatever, to everybody's houses. Jenny
Mhm.
just so happens to have that exact book at the ready. So,
Yeah.
this
Just
one exactly right here is going to help you.
yeah.
This out of the blue question that I never expected to hear from you right now. So, but
Yeah.
one of the cornerstones of this franchise, they just have the book at the ready. Like, why
Yep.
bother searching when we know where it is?
Mhm.
Anyways, Jenny then says Angel hurt her tribe more than anybody else's, which I think is kind of bragging. You know what I mean? I don't know if bragging's the word,
I
maybe,
don't think
but
bragging's the word.
to say that, oh, he hurt us more than anybody else, like, you can go ask Drusilla's entire family. He did the exact same thing. You know, they
Yeah.
got over it. You know what I mean? They didn't curse him with a weird curse to give him a soul that can easily just be replaced. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Weird curse. Again,
Yeah,
we've been over this. It's a very weird curse.
bananas. Anyways, it's her duty is what she was raised on and stuff like that. But she didn't plan on falling in love,
Yeah.
Adelia. In love with Jones. So he softens a little bit. And he says she needs to make things up to Buffy. And I got a little sidekick too around me right now. Anyways, oh, there they go. So we get Summer's family dinner now, Adelia.
Mhm.
Buffy's telling Joyce that she and Angel were dating. She's just that college boy and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, it's like, go, right? She doesn't seem too upset that her teenage daughter's with a significantly older man.
Yeah. I I don't know how I
At
felt about
least not
that either.
at least not at this moment.
Not at this moment, she's not, but she should have been.
No, she says Buffy tells her that Angel's had a little trouble letting go, and that if he shows up, just don't let him in. Like, well, you know, he can come in if he wants right now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, Buffy's then talking to Willow on the phone. Will also says to not let Angel get to her while she's doing this, while she's feeding her fish. Delia.
Yeah.
I also want to say that I don't know where Angel got them, but he got a lot of the exact same envelope.
He
And
did, yeah.
that's not an easy envelope to find either. That
No,
brown
it's
one
not.
with matching stationery, by the
Yeah.
way. Anyways, Willow didn't notice that when she was feeding her fish that none of them were in there. In fact, it
No,
took
she
my
didn't notice that at all.
like there was none. They were all in that envelope, all on a little fishing line.
Mhm.
I don't know. They didn't eat it, so I don't know if he like stuck like stapled them
Yeah,
or
I don't
something like
wanna
that.
know what he did with the fish.
Well, All right. And then we won't get to. I tried to do it scientifically, trying to think about it, but we'll just cut
No.
that part out. Never mind. Anyways, then we cut to Willow in bed with Buffy for a sleepover at the Summers. Willow says she's thankful that for the first time ever that her parents didn't give her a puppy,
Yes.
which I can
And I don't
appreciate.
want to think about that either.
And she didn't have time to bond with her fish, Adelia. Could you imagine with a puppy? Anyways, Buffy says that Angel's completely different now, and Willow reminds her that she's still the only thing he thinks about, which is a good line. And true.
Yeah.
Now, I got all these dogs wanting to see what's going on. Drew, speaking of dogs, Drew has brought Spike a delicious puppy to eat.
No.
No,
Just no.
no, he doesn't like being infantilized, though, Adelia. Angel
Yeah.
walks in and reminds him that she already bathes, changes, and carries him around like a child, so why not feed him like one, too? And offers to bring him along so he can have a better parking space.
Oh boy.
No, he also
Didn't
he
like
also
that.
no he also suggests he could take up more responsibilities. You know what I mean? Around the factory, things that he isn't already doing. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I didn't know what he meant by that either.
Mm,
But for some reason, this really angers Spike,
yeah.
which pleases Drew to no end. She seems
It does.
very, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I hadn't even mentioned. Oh, hello, Brennan.
Hi, Brennan.
I didn't even mention that Drew named Spike's lovely snack Sunshine. Sunshine.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Which is, you would think it's a terrifying name for a vampire to have a
You would. You
Sunshine.
would.
It's like naming your dog like Murder or something like that. That'd be a weird name for a dog, but there you go.
It would be
So,
very weird.
yeah. Next scene, we see some curious objects, some ominous music, and then we see a man affixing price tags, Adelia.
Mm-hmm.
We get our first look at the local Sunnydale magic shop.
Yep.
I wonder if this place will ever play a bigger role in the show. Anyways, Jenny comes
Brennan
in.
says, "What's this about stealing a handicapped parking space?"
Yeah. It turns out Angel's a real jerk.
Yeah.
Angel just isn't a good guy. I can tell you that right now.
No.
No, Jenny comes in. The shopkeeper tries to sell her some love potions and voodoo dolls and stuff like that, but Jenny just comes right out with it and says she needs an orb of Thessala. Ideally.
Mm-hmm.
So he drops the whole shopkeeper rack, asks her where he's heard of the place. She says her uncle Enyos told her. For a guy, poor Enyos, by the way, for a guy who spent a matter of days, possibly in Sunnydale, not a long
Yeah.
time, he became such a good customer to this guy. That not only,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear about your uncle. He was a great customer, and also knows that, you must be Yana. He knows everything about this person and her family.
It's crazy.
Like,
It's
I would have
crazy.
liked to have seen the adventures of Enyos in Sunnydale.
Yeah. That would have been
Like
fun.
one episode, just could have gone back.
One
And seen,
episode, or if this was happening, like nowadays, a web series following Enyos would have been really fun.
yeah. Oh boy. Well, we never got it, but maybe you know what? There could
No.
always be a spinoff. Who knows? So, he gives her the orb, and then of course gives a little bit of exposition here, where those are the transliteration annals for the ritual of the undead were lost, Adelia. So the surviving text is useless. But Jenny knows this. See, she's using a computer to help translate the remaining text. Turns out she's going to give Angel his soul back. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yep.
That would have been really nice.
It would it would have turned out maybe better if she did. But also, well, we'll get to it in a minute. Anyways,
Yeah.
back at school, Will's sees Jenny, gets all disappointed because she did 5 hours of
Lesson plans?
lesson planning. Like, oh my god,
What for Jenny maybe being like 5 to
10
10
minutes,
minutes late?
10 minutes late, 5 hours. Oh my
I
god.
mean,
Anyway,
Willow took this very seriously,
yes,
obviously.
incredibly seriously.
Yeah.
Buffy goes up to Jenny. Almost, it almost looks like she's gonna forgive her. Instead, hopes that she still feels bad. But then, gives a little rub saying that Giles misses her and that she doesn't want them to be lonely. Aw,
Yeah.
which is nice.
She doesn't want
So,
anyone to be lonely, which I
no,
think is
no, and I'm sure Jenny and Giles will have a long and happy life together. So
uh
she then finds Giles. And Cordy walks up as well. He's found a spell that may reverse Angel's all access pass here to Cordelia's relief because she had to switch cars with her grandmother. And she had to convince her grandmother to take her car too, by the way.
mm-hmm.
And also now, didn't she just made her grandmother a potential next victim for
Yep.
Angel.
Yep.
Good for
But
you.
it doesn't matter because Cordelia is safe.
Yeah. Oh, Cordelia, you can always tell who she's going to look out for first. Anyways,
Yep.
we then cut to the Rosenberg home. Willow nailing a crucifix to her wall.
This part was pretty funny.
Yeah, she's not sure that the only that Iron Rosenberg's only daughter hanging a crucifix will go well with her dad and stuff like that. The dad that she has to escape over to Xander so she can watch Charlie Brown Christmas, and then she says it's worth it because of the Snoopy dance. If you don't think we're getting the Snoopy dance before this show's over, not this particular episode before the series, you are sadly mistaken. Cordelia is about to leave, but finds another envelope. Not only is Angel a very good artist, he's also prolific.
Yes.
He can do lots of stuff. Anyways, this time they find a picture of Joyce sleeping. Oh boy.
Which is super creepy. Just beyond
Incredibly
creepy.
creepy. So I wonder if he brushed her face too. I don't want to think about it. So
I
okay.
don't want to think about it.
Next we see Joyce, of course, driving home. Angel's sitting there waiting for her. He tells her that he needs to be with Buffy and Delia.
This was very creepy as well.
It's incredibly creepy. She tells him that he's scaring her, and then tells her that they die without each other. Angel, Buffy and Angel would die without each other. Joyce starts feeling threatened by this and telling him that he's going to call the cops. That's when he tells her about his birthday, the birthday present he gave Buffy. If you know what I mean.
Yep, I do.
I meant sex, by the way,
Yep.
just in case you didn't know. Okay, so we're on the same thing. So Joyce gets in the house. Here comes Angel into the house too. It's like, wait a second. Force field stops him in his tracks. Buffy says, sorry, Angel, change the locks. Now, here's the deal. The person recanting that spell is one Willow Rosenberg.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if this will awaken anything in there ever. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We'll have to see. So next we see Giles sneak up on Jenny. Of course, it's late at school, and everybody, no teacher ever goes home there or whatever. No. They all stay until the, stroke of midnight, it seems. Anyways, she lets him know what Buffy said to her or whatever, and then he calls her a meddlesome girl. Have you ever heard the word meddlesome more than before you started rewatching this show?
No.
An incredible amount. You don't even hear this thing on Scooby-Doo. Anyways, she tells him that she may have news and wants to see him later. So they plan on meeting at his house, at Giles's house.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. Why don't
Mhm.
you just say it? That
Yeah.
I think I might have a cure for this this whole soul bit. You know, I'll fill you in later. At least give it like keep it a big huge secret and surprise. That never works out.
No, it
Ever.
doesn't. And
Speaking of
it
it
does
not
not in this episode either.
I was just say, speaking of it not working out, so we switch over to the magic shop quick. Drew and Sunshine are there. She hasn't done anything with Sunshine yet.
No, but
She know
Sunshine has told her things.
she knows
That's
that
why
Jenny was
Sunshine's
there.
still alive. Sunshine now speaks to Drew and tells her what Jenny is doing. What?
Yeah. Sunshine's the best. Anyways, she just wants to know why Jenny was there. The mean school teacher.
Mhm.
So, speaking of the mean school teacher,
Yeah.
at the school, Jenny has finally completed translating that text just in the nick of
Mhm.
time. She saves it to a floppy disk.
Oh god, it's
Adelia.
been a while since I've seen a floppy disk.
Yeah, that put all the things back in my bing, 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 bing. I still remember when they were floppy. I had to remember those.
One of my favorite tweets of all time is someone showing their kid a floppy disk and the kid says, "Oh, you 3D printed the save button?"
Little jerk. Anyways,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and then she's also printing it out on that huge printer paper and stuff like that.
I remember that kind of printer paper.
I had to use that, like, and not even that long ago. I worked at a place that still had the computer system that old. Then I had to
Yeah.
use that thing. Oh my god! I'll never forget the sound of it.
So
Anyways,
loud.
yes. She looks up though, and oh,
There's Angel.
yeah, it's not Giles sitting waiting for her. It's that darn Angel.
No.
It turns out, Adelia, when your school motto is Formatia Transecere et Gitarum, it means anyone who seeks knowledge can go in there. Yeah, and he says, well, he's a knowledge seeker, you see. All it does is you leave yourself open to vampire attack.
Yep.
Not great. So she tells him, "Oh, there's good news. You know, I can get your soul back for you. You know." He knows. He also and then he sees the orb of Thessala. He knows what that thing is or whatever. And he says it helps transfer souls. So, you know, he talks about how fragile they are and smashes it.
Of course.
He takes a peek at her monitor. She starts inching towards the door, then throws her computer on the ground, and somehow it sets on fire.
Somehow it set on fire, yes.
All right. You know what? Computers were made of flammable, much more flammable material, I guess, back in the 90s.
I guess.
Grabs the paper, bundles it up, puts it in the computer fire. Turns out he's not all that interested in getting cured, unfortunately, Adelia. So he goes into vamp phase. So Jenny starts to run, and so instead of going towards the door that's right behind her, she goes right towards him. Not, you know what? Not the best way to escape is by directly attacking what you're trying to get away from. So, but luckily for her, Angel kind of throws her at the door. So she gets up, starts running. She goes to one place, one exit. Somehow the emergency push bar won't actually let her out of the building. It won't do the only job, you know, it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
So she turns around. We see Angel stalking up behind her, and I really like that scene. I don't know why. I think that scene is so good whenever she turns or whatever, and you just see him walk and stuff. I like it. She starts running through the high school sky bridge. It has.
This high school has everything.
It is amazing for a 2 Starbucks tip. You know, she then goes pries another door open. Angel reaches her, but it only for a quick second. He still's chasing her. She pushes a cleaning cart into him. He falls down. She runs up the stairs. You hear a vampire kind of growl thing. You don't see Angel at all.
No.
You just see her going up the stairs by herself. Gets to the landing with the
And
big
he's right in front
window,
of her.
and he runs right into him. He's laughing at this moment. Says, "Sorry, Jenny, but this is where you get off." Snaps her neck.
This was so sad to me.
He
I
says he
like
never.
Jenny so much.
I like Jenny fine. Like, well, if I was to tell you that the other option they had was snapping Oz's neck, because that was brought up when they were wondering who to
No,
do this
I'd
to.
much rather Oz
Yeah.
continue in this show than Jenny.
Yes.
But I was
Yeah.
sad that we lost Jenny in this episode.
I was more sad for like Giles and stuff like that. But yes,
Yeah.
of course, and the first real kind of Scooby really adjacent person to get
Yeah.
killed here and stuff like that. There'll be some more, but yeah. The one thing is, he didn't even drain her blood or anything like that. All those
No.
things or whatever. He just killed her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that
This was
somehow
brutal.
makes it way worse.
Yeah.
Anyways, we got another really good scene here. Giles showing up at Buffy's. Willow hands him the spellbook back, says he's going to do his place next. Here's the thing. I don't
Mhm.
remember Angel ever being in Giles's apartment, or them
I
ever
don't either.
talking about it.
I don't either. I don't remember that at all.
You'd think, I guess, after close to 2 years or two school years almost. And maybe at some point they were, but when they would even talk about like before the end of the first season and stuff like that, they would always have their conversations over at the library and stuff like that. It wasn't just at Giles's place. Anyways,
Yeah, there has to be some time he was, but I don't remember when or what it could have been.
yeah. So Willow then tells Giles that what that Angel told Joyce, what happened and stuff like that, and that they had what did she say? That they had you do know, right? And then he finally gets clued in or whatever. Oh yeah. How he stammers or whatever. He says, "Oh, good,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah."
That I know.
She was concerned he may not because he's a librarian.
Yeah, didn't understand that. That was funny.
Then she says that she'll tell Buffy that he stopped by. He said, "Well, maybe I could intervene on her behalf." Willow says,
I
"Okay,
was like,
sure."
what are you
Like,
doing,
what are you gonna
Giles?
what are you gonna say? And, he's like,
Just sort of
and then she
ushers him out the door.
escorts him to the door.
Yeah.
So good. Tells her that you'll stop by. Anyways, she asks if she just says to Giles says to her, just tell her that I stopped by, and she says, "You bet." She gets out of there. So this is where Joyce and Buffy have a little talk here, where Buffy tells her the truth of what was going on. Joyce brings up that not only is he older, he's too old. She says,
Mm-hmm.
"No shit."
No shit.
I'll say, "Oh, you think he's too old? All right, whatever." Then she goes right for the guilt, because that seems to be Joyce's, raison d'etre, saying she wished Buffy showed more judgment. Then asked if she loved him and if she was careful. Gives her
I
more shirt.
mean, typical parent questions there.
Yeah. One thing, when she started giving her shit, that you had sex with a boy you didn't even tell me you were dating. Well, yeah, no shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait,
I
yeah,
didn't see that being like an issue.
you
Like
know.
lots of teenagers do that, I'm sure.
As far as I know, none of my kids have ever had sex, and one of them's, living with somebody, and the other one just graduated university and stuff like that. I'm sure they're all chaste. Anyways, Joyce is not giving her a break through any of this, even though Buffy admits it was a mistake. I think this conversation may be brought up again in the next season, but we'll get to that at some point. But Joyce does tell Buffy that she does love her more than anything else in the world, and that Joyce considers this the talk. I never had the talk. Did you ever have the talk?
I never had the talk either.
Yeah, I was even older than these guys. No one has the talk. Anyways, okay, so the next scene.
Mm-hmm.
The next scene, you see Giles walking up to his own door. There's a rose.
This was heartbreaking.
On the knocker. He comes in. Some opera's playing. It says, "O Sove Fanciulla." Adelia is from La Boheme. Very romantic song.
Mm-hmm.
Where Mimi and Rodolfo discover they're in love with each other. He smells the rose. Announces that he's home. See some chilled champagne. Lots of rose petals about. Very romantic gesture. You would think more so that the man would do this for the lady,
Yeah.
rather than the other way around. But it was the '90s; things were changing.
Yep. Another one of those envelopes is there.
There's a note, just in cursive, mind you.
This was fantastic handwriting.
Upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like ladies' handwriting.
It definitely did look like a lady wrote that.
Yeah. And the candles. Lots of candles lit.
Oh, man.
On the stairs. The song is starting to build to a crescendo now, Adelia. Giles is smiling like he's back in those, what were they? Maxwell House commercials. Remember those?
I remember those, yeah.
He's starting to look like he did back then, until he sees Jenny on the bed. He automatically knows. The eyes are, the eyes are
fairly obvious.
I was going to say the eyes are a dead giveaway, but I think that's in poor taste, Delia. You know what I mean?
It's fairly obvious that Jenny is not alive.
He drops and shatters the glass on the ground. Next scene, we see the coroner's office is all there. They're going through his apartment. Cops are there. He's asked to go answer some questions. He agrees. He's it looks like he's in his own world and he's saying procedure. He's understanding that part.
Mm-hmm.
He asks to make a phone call, and he said, if that's all right. Now, if he was being taken for questioning, no, it's not all right.
No, it's not all right at
all. They would not allow you, especially one thing they wouldn't let you do is call two teenage girls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At least, I've never been arrested. Fingers crossed.
I'm pretty sure you can call a lawyer, but not like Buffy and Willow.
I think after you've done, you've been read your rights and stuff like that, you can do all that kind of stuff. Anyways.
Yeah.
So, we get some more voiceovers here. An Angel outside the Summers house, looking through the window into the dining room there.
Oh, I hated this part.
Telling us about how passion is the source of our finest moments, including the ecstasy of grief, Adelia.
Ugh.
Now, with this scene, I do love how you just see the girls' reactions. The sound is very muffled. You know what's happening. You don't ever have to have Giles' perspective on this. You know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You get it all just through what Angel is looking at. Allison Hannigan absolutely crushing it here. As soon as Buffy's done, hands her the phone. She breaks down. She breaks down so hard, Buffy's mom goes to comfort her, not Buffy, who's just kind of there on the ground. One thing, I'm not so sure that the Jenny Willow relationship was so strong that it needed, this kind of reaction.
Yeah, it was an interesting reaction for a relationship. I don't think they built that relationship up enough to earn that reaction.
Yeah. Still, it works. Anytime, Willow's sad, everyone's sad. So it works. It's just, I don't know how earned it was. Anyways, Xander and Cordelia then show up. I guess they had gone to the cop station to see if Giles was going to be let out, but he had already gone.
Mm-hmm.
So Buffy asks them to drive her over to his place because she doesn't want him doing anything foolish. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I guess we're a little too late because we see Giles packing up a duffel bag for leaving. There's also the pan. Also, one thing I'll have to say, he's have some nice Tiffany lamps in his apartment there. Anyways, that
Mm-hmm.
comes from watching. Was that a road? Was it roadshow? Antiques roadshow.
Antiques Roadshow.
Yeah, watching. I was like, that's a Tiffany lamp. Everybody seems to have it. They must have had a million of those. Anyways,
Must have.
yeah, underneath one of them, another sketch of poor Jenny. The only sketch with the person with their eyes open. So it wasn't great.
Ugh.
Uh,
Yeah.
the gang gets to Giles' place. They take a look around. They notice the the present or whatever they think Buffy said about what Angel left for Giles. They see that he's taken his weapons. Cordy asks, I thought his weapons were at school. He says these are his good weapons.
Mm-hmm.
The kind he breaks out when he has company. I remember over at the LGRN studios that you have your weapons just strewn about as well.
Yeah, no
Probably just
weapons here.
keep your
Absolutely no weapons
keep
here.
your good weapons at home.
Absolutely no weapons here.
So Xander sort of does the "I told you so" thing here about Angel and stuff like that, and he says, he didn't want to rub your faces in it and stuff like that, but he's going to start doing it now. Buffy says, "Yeah, great, but this is going to go get Giles killed." So we go to the factory, and Spike is perturbed by Angel's, being a Bond villain and stuff like that, and toying with his prey instead of just getting the job done. Drew tells him that Jen was going to be restoring his soul. Spike says that he would have no problem with that. He prefers the Buffy whipped version of Angel, which I can understand by his what he's had to go through with him so far. Angel says that he has things under control when Molotov cocktails hit the ground.
Yeah.
Factory starts on fire. Pretty easy. Drew, Spike, and Sunshine make a break for it.
Yeah, Drew just basically takes Spike's wheelchair and pushes him out of the room.
Yeah, not and I thought, okay, they're out of here, right? That's a smart thing to do.
Not fast. It's not fast.
No, they hung around. They actually hang around for a second. Angel gets a crossbow bolt to the arm. If Giles was a better shot, this whole mess would be over. But unfortunately, not. Giles comes in, lights a torch, which he so luckily had with him, and beats the heck out of
he does
Angel for a bit here. Then we get to see Spike and Drew kind of watching from the side or whatever, and he says to Drew, not unless you get tagged in or whatever. Don't do anything unless you get tagged in.
Yeah.
Well, that's the last you see of them. Their whole exit was strange. Anyways,
their exit was strange.
Anyways, Angel gets a little tired of getting the crap kicked out of him, which you can't really blame him for, I suppose. Grabs Giles' torch, then of course lifts him up by the throat. The classics.
Again. Yeah.
The classics. But Buffy pulls him off and kicks him in the face.
Yep.
And every time that happens, I laugh. Now, we pan over and we see an unconscious Rupert Giles. So what are we going to do? We're going to put that on the board, and that's about time. I think this is the first time we got the times Giles gets knocked out. I think it's the first time this entire damn season. So
I think it is the first time this season. So what are we up to? 6?
Now we're up to 6. His poor CTE riddled brain. Anyways, the fire is starting to spread now. Angel and Buffy continue fighting. Now they're up on a catwalk, which this
Mm-hmm.
factory had everything, by the way.
Yeah.
And she's really,
Everything in this town has everything.
yeah. Well, it's so little and nobody ever goes here. Yeah, this is a megalopolis. Like I'm thinking, it might be in the tens of millions. Anyways, so he starts laughing like she's really beating the shit out of him. He starts laughing and says, "Oh, you're just gonna let your old man burn." So she looks down. She sees Giles unconscious. That fire did not look a dangerous or be near him.
It
But
wasn't spreading either.
well, not yet, I guess. Somehow it starts. But anyways, so he grabs her and uh, lightly helps toss her over the catwalk, and she lands easily
Yeah.
to the floor or whatever. Anyways, Buffy grabs Giles, gets him out, but Giles is pissed. He's pissed at her. He pushes her and says that it wasn't her fight. So she punches him in the face.
Yeah.
Violence is their love language, I guess, Adelia.
I guess. I was just like, what is happening here?
Yeah, she crying, says, "Are you trying to get yourself killed?" And she says, "I can't do this without you." And this is another thing that'll be brought up later on and stuff like that. But they're both kind of crying here. The first time Giles kind of lets himself go, but it's kind of fades off and stuff like that. Because we get another voiceover saying this
I
time.
hated the voiceover in this episode. I absolutely hated it.
Yeah, it wasn't needed. It wasn't needed. Anyways,
No.
the voiceover saying that passion, without passion, Adelia, we'd be truly dead. You know what I mean? We see Giles go back to his apartment. Why would you go back to your apartment after all that?
But
Right?
he's like torturing himself by doing that.
Again, you're in a huge city with everything. Just rent a hotel for a couple of nights.
Yeah.
Have somebody go clean this up. You know what I mean? Why would you want to go? Why would you want to go back into there? Anyways, so we get to see Jenny's grave. Adelia.
Mm-hmm.
Says Jennifer Calendar on there. Doesn't even have a real name. And
Doesn't
just
have a
her
real
name.
name. No date of birth, date of death.
Nope.
It just says Jennifer Calendar.
No. He says to Buffy that Jenny was the first person he's had to bury as a watcher that he's actually loved. Buffy says, "Oh, I'm sorry I couldn't kill him for you when I had the chance." Then thinks, "I think I'm ready to do that now." She says, "Well, we'll see."
Mm-hmm.
Well, then her walk into the computer class and tell the class that Principal Snyder put her in charge until they hire a new computer sciences teacher. Couple of things. A, is she getting paid for this? Probably not.
Probably not.
B, what would the union think? What
Can't
would
imagine
the
that would go
union
down
think?
well.
Nah, I don't think it would. I don't think it would go well. Having a scab.
This was our first
teacher.
mention of Principal Snyder in a while, too,
In
wasn't it?
a while. It has been a long time since. Just a mention. Never mind. We still haven't seen him.
We haven't seen him in a long time.
Well, we're gonna see him soon. But anyways, it says she says that she's gonna stick to Miss Calendar's lessons plan. And you hear Buffy's voice saying that she can't stick to the past because nothing's gonna bring Angel back. And then, unfortunately, Willow, in her haste to put the books down, knocks a certain floppy disk to the ground, and it lands between the desk and the computer. Oh boy. Episode ends. Okay, so again, passion's a tough one. It was a tough episode, especially for the Scoobies.
Yeah, it's a pretty heavy episode.
Well, good news is, hopefully next week we'll have something a little more lighthearted. Which one is it? Oh, good. Killed by Death is next week, Adelia.
Okay.
Killed by Death. Okay. For one thing, it's my favorite episode that's named after a Motorhead song.
Okay.
It's also the only episode that's named after a Motorhead song. But
Okay.
let's see. Also, it has that lightheartedness that it's about an invisible monster that kills kids. So yes, again, a
Yeah,
very
no, this is not gonna be a lighthearted episode, I can
it's going to
already
be
tell.
not a joyful romp,
No.
but a German kid killer. Anyways, something that the doctor ordered just for us. So there you are, Adelia. Adelia, thanks for talking about passion with me.
Of
We should
course.
have a voiceover going while this episode was going. Maybe we can do that in post.
No.
All right.
Absolutely not.
Where can people find you on the good old internets?
You can find me on this channel Thursdays 3 p.m. Pacific on Rewatchers Council. You can find me sometimes on Fridays 8 p.m. Pacific on the Open Table with Ferris. We're
Mm-hmm.
like alternating how we do the show. And you can find me soon back on the Highlights channel Tuesdays 3 p.m. Pacific for the Starting 11, our English Premier League recap show. That season is about to get started pretty soon. Feels like we've had no break because of the Euros and Copa America, and now it's preseason. So check that out. Also, coming up on the last Wednesday of this month here on the Entertainment Channel is our latest episode of Nostalgia Crackdown. Me and Josh, our retrospective on the movie Trivia Schmodown. This month we are talking about the history of the Quirky Mercs.
I like these guys.
The dungeon was good.
Yeah.
I have a dungeon hoodie, so
Whoa,
yeah.
bragger! What a bragger! I have a cup. I have a cup too. Anyways, yes, great. I love the whole nostalgia crackdown. So, for me, yes, again, Rewatchers Council Thursdays. Starting 11 Tuesdays. That'll be in August, end of August. I think it starts right near the end of
Yeah.
August. Chelsea drew with Wrexham last night, so excited.
Arsenal beat Bournemouth on penalties last night. So
Yep, fantastic. Anyways,
it's preseason, it don't matter.
it doesn't matter. LGRN after Snark. No episode this weekend. We will be back next week. We're going to talk about Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm very excited about that. And you will be joining us as well. Yeah, super excited about that. Yeah, and playoff beards. We'll get to it when hockey comes. Lots of hockey news lately. I got very mad about something with hockey, but we'll bring it up with Ryan at some point. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll do an episode before the season starts there too. But until then, guys, I don't think we have much more to talk about. And in the words of Jenny Calendar, maybe at some point, bye bye.